Richard Allen, the man accused of killing 2 teen young ladies in Storr, Indiana, needs his articulations to the police tossed out. It's his projectile emerging from his weapon, so that is their issue, and that is the reason they're attempting to get that smothered, resigned criminal investigator Phil Waters here with 3 things Allen said that could hurt him at preliminary. Gratitude for going along with me for wrongdoing fix. I'm Angelette Lai. Richard Allen expressed a few things in a police interview in October 2022, just before his capture. That may not be really great for him at his preliminary. These assertions are not those supposed admissions that he made to his better half in prison calls following his capture. As a matter of fact, the proclamations his legal counselors don't believe the jury should hear are really disavowals. Allen is blamed for killing Libby German and Abby Williams on February 13, 2017. Libby and Abby's bodies were found in a lush region off the Mon High Path the next day on Valentine's Day. Close to them, an unspent .40 type packaging that had been cycled tossed a firearm. Examiners delivered video of a man seen strolling on the path that day, trusting that somebody would remember him. Regardless of that class being delivered, it would require a very long time to make a capture. Richard Allen, who truly goes by Rick, so that is the very thing we'll get back to him, had been addressed in 2017, months after the killing specialists then, at that point, returned to him in October of 2022 and accused him of killing Abby and Libby days sooner. Allen say that 2 analysts read him his Miranda freedoms and talked with him, and sooner or later during that first meeting things warmed up, and Allen finished the discussion expressing, "It's over, I was completely fine, I was participating, I planned to give you my telephone, and afterward, when you began perusing this multitude of records. That is at the, here's my thing is, I feel like you all figure, I done this, so I'm done. You don't do what you want to take care of, it's your business. I grasped that, however you better effing let my reputation well enough alone so you do what you want to do. And afterward, like I said, when you really do find this person, I'll anticipate the conciliatory sentiment." Then an analyst held on to Allen's vehicle. Almost 14 days after the fact, Allen went to get his vehicle back, and 1 more criminal investigator requested to talk with him. Allen's legal counselors say the initial segment of the tape is missing, and Allen wasn't telling his options during that subsequent meeting. Yet Allen's legal counselors say an investigator made a note where he said he found out if he recollected different criminal investigators telling him his options. And he said okay. Criminal investigator Holman said he told Allen he was allowed to go. Any of these little disparities should be made sense of in the report. Blast, that's what anything caused. There are a few things that the detective is thought to have noted in the report that would have essentially responded to those questions that they're discussing. So for what reason did Allen at any point tell his options in any case? He wasn't set to be taken to jail. Here's Phil Waters on that. So these are both non-custodial IL interviews. Miranda isn't required, so why the analyst chose to bring Miranda into a non-custodial meeting when it is expected in a custodial meeting. However, this person isn't set to be locked up, he's not in guardianship and he's allowed to leave, so that gets this entire wreck rolling in any case. So Phil's saying he doesn't see reason for the assertions being stifled in light of the contention that Allen wasn't told his options yet. Phil sees the reason why the protection needs those assertions tossed out. There are trades between Rick Allen and the analyst that could neutralize Allen at preliminary. Here's the criminal investigator Jerry Hulleman begins. I need to set the statement up on the screen. He says the proof plainly shows you are engaged with this Rick Allen. They call him Rick, not Richard constantly. Says no. Jerry Hulleman answers effing. Rick Allen says it doesn't. I'm letting you know that it is absolutely impossible that a projectile from my firearm was utilized in these killings. Jerry Hulleman answers, and I'm letting you know that we had this effing round on February 14th, 2017, and it's been gotten in an effing lab, and we've tried different firearms. Rick Allen says you might have taken it from somebody elsewhere, yet entirely it's unrealistic. Jerry Hulleman answers, I didn't take it from elsewhere. It was signed in, it was taken, it was shot. You think we effing took it around, tossed it somewhere near the dead young lady's foot? This ain't effing television. This is reasonable. Rick Allen says, I'm letting you know I can't make sense of something. And Jerry Hulleman says, and I'm letting you know that effing examiners make sense of it, you can't move beyond this. So what's your reaction to that? Clearly, they're saying a slug from your firearm that had been in your weapon was viewed as close to the dead young lady's foot. And you're saying that no chance except for the weepo. N was found in his home. So that is the very thing that these protection lawyers are worried about in your view. Their anxiety is that he makes a confirmation that the firearm is his, yet he's rejecting that he was ever there when they found that projectile around that time period. And that is an issue that is the vital issue for the guard, since he's denying a reality that can't be changed. It's undeniably true that shot emerged from his weapon. He concedes that it's his firearm. It concedes that it emerged from his firearm. God, I believe there's an imprint. The extractor markings on this live round are matched to the actual weapon, so he's confessed to everything. He's trying to say, I wasn't there, so how does that slug arrive? And that is the point at which you get the officer that says you think we tossed the thing down there and all that sort of stuff. No doubt that is an issue, a similar correlation as an individual has DNA at a crime location and they're guaranteeing they were never there. They never realized that individual realized nothing about them wherever's around them. How would you make sense of it? Yet once in a while when those dissents go over, they are on par with an admission. One more piece of this is the way that Rick Allen denies he's on record. However, examiners accept he was the man in the video advising the young ladies to sight down the slope. And one of the young ladies can be heard saying, "Firearm Jerry Holman." The analyst says, "I'm not on record." And Rick says, "Nor am I." Jay Holman says 4 or 5 observers didn't see me out there. Rick says me by the same token. Jerry Holman expresses my balance of my firearm wasn't 6 inches away from a dead young lady. Rick says mine either. And Jerry Holman then, at that point, says, "I don't believe you're a terrible individual." Rick Allen then, at that point, says, "What sort of good individual kills 2 individuals?" What might be said about that explanation would concern a protection lawyer. Well, look, this is only an ever-changing in the meeting room, and the issue that the guard lawyers have is that has raised their radar, is that their client is denying a reality. I mean, it is a reality. It's his weapon. And he honestly, his firearm, it's undeniably true that slug emerged from his weapon. It is there, and he's guaranteeing that he doesn't have the foggiest idea how it arrived, and it has no effect in the event that it's connected up. He's simply asserting, I don't have any idea how it arrived. Well, that disavowal, that is an issue for the safeguard, since how he says so, how would you make sense of it in any case? On the off chance that he wasn't there, so he's making this refusal yet in his force wearing. He's putting himself there, since you can't modify the way that the shot emerged from his firearm, and it's at that scene. No, doubt they have it that they're irritated about, that they're annoyed about. There's a next segment where Rick Allen says, "You will pay for how you've treated my significant other. You need to F with me, yet you avoid my better half with regard to this avoid me with regards to this." Jerry Holman answers, "No, you're engaged with this. You're effing round. Is there Rick?" Rick Allen says, "No, it's not." So then you have another of these dissents he's not saying. Definitely, I've been out there before. I've been down in those woods. And with my firearm, I leave there at times, perhaps my rounds there. However, I wasn't on the grounds that I was with these young ladies. Is that why they're featuring this too, in light of the fact that it is possibly inculpatory, that is a trade that occurs in a meeting room. Thus, in the event that they're attempting to say that the analyst, the officer, one or the other, their enormous issue is he's denying the truth of the matter is the projectile's there. It's his firearm. He's caused an admission to that, and it's basically impossible that they can rationalize his refusals, and regardless of whether he springs up now and says, "Gracious, no doubt, better believe it, I really do recall that I was there." They can't unring that chime, they can't unring the disavowal. So I comprehend the reason why they're worried about this yet. As far as the way that discussion goes, what's significant there is that he is denying it no matter what the officer's disposition or the manner in which way they're having that trade those things occur in a meeting room. Their most serious issue is he proceeds to deny, and he's resolved about it. He's unyielding about rejecting that he isn't the one that put that slug there, and truth that it's his shot emerging from his weapon. So that is their issue, and that is the reason they're attempting to get that stifled. One more contention, the protection, makes criminal investigator Holman shouted at Rick Allen and reviled at him. He was forceful in his scrutinizing of Rick Allen. The main thing I could do at any point know similarly, by the way, and having not seen the genuine meeting, simply getting it off of the what you've perused. In my view, that little clasp, a terrible meeting procedure. So that is the very thing that they're grumbling about is will be the way that this conversation went among Allen and the criminal investigators. So the officer, so I comprehend what they worried about, all things considered about this association, yet I don't see everything they're portraying truly has practically nothing to do with nothing. They ought to be concerned on the grounds that this connect to the shot to the firearm, so forward, etc. So conversation in there where he owns up to the weapon being his, and afterward the officers attempting to clarify for him that you realize you think we tossed it down. You realize something like this, that is only a trade throughout a meeting that occasionally happens in perusing, that it focuses on me like the legal counselors are saying, he talked mean to our client, and consequently, this should be smothered and please. Accept my apologies yet. That is not reason for concealment. Well, that is normal. There are a ton of police who will do things like that, and it may not be the best practice. Rick Allen's lawyers, additionally, contend that the criminal investigators lie to him, yet the U.S. High Court has said that is permitted. Police can utilize trickery while scrutinizing a suspect. Allen stays in guardianship in front of his preliminary, which is planned to start in May. That is all there is to it for this episode of Wrongdoing Fixing. I'm Angela Toll. Much obliged, such a great amount for being with me. I'll see you back here sometime later. Thank you so much for watching Gossip Now.